Okay, getting in where you fit in, and also how people want to be entrepreneurs and add all these different types. They want to do all these different types of jobs. They want to do hair. You want to cut grass. You want to fix cars. You want to learn all three of these things. You want to put all them three things together and say, "Oh, I do this and that and this and that," but you're not perfect at any of them. You just know how to do the minimum of all things.
Because basically, just
You
because
can't do all things through Christ.
who strengthens you.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you tried, because you're sucking right now. Hi, I'm Jeff, and this is my vlog.
Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should do it for a living. Right? So I was telling you off camera about how there's some people that want to be business owners, right? Because they feel like, working for the man or whatever is a waste of their potential and their time. But then I asked the following question. Okay, if you got fired, you had to leave your job because you had cutting edge ideas and they just weren't, they didn't really want to, implement them. I can kind of respect that. But if you left your job or got fired or want to start your own business because, you was always late to work, you always, you didn't do well with people, you just weren't responsible overall, then that's going to translate into you having your own business. You know what I mean? When you got your own business, there's no such thing as getting written up. You just lose a customer. You lose a client.
Right. I mean, they can still give you a bad reputation by telling other people that you didn't do a good job.
Yeah, versus on your job, you might get written up a few times before you get fired. Right. But when you have your own business, you got to keep the lights on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Some people don't realize that. They just want to say, they just want the, what's that word? What's that? They say, I'm a boss, but they don't want to go through the work.
So that's what Rick Ross has messed the game up.
They want to be at the top without taking the stairs.
Right. See, Rick Ross has messed the game up. People think now being a boss is just saying you're a boss or wearing some loud shirt or walking around like a boss.
Having titties.
Yeah, watching the Mac over and over or watching Scarface. That don't make you a boss. What makes you a boss is being a boss. You know what I mean? Every kid doesn't grow up to be an astronaut, clearly. Every kid's not a cowboy.
Try to be a jack of all trades.
And end up not doing it well at anything.
Or they just end up quitting after a year.
Remember in that previous, Steve Urkel versus Eddie Winslow, we talked about, we ended it talking about why Laura married Steve. And essentially it's because I said...
He was always consistent.
Exactly.
He was consistent in what he did, no matter how he was.
He stayed in his lane.
He stayed in his lane. He knew what he wanted to be, and he did that, and he perfected what he did. Yeah. He didn't try to go somewhere else. He didn't get to 96%, and then it's okay, let me go over here. And then at 96% end up going to 72, and then where he's at now, he want to be a plumber or something like that. He ended up getting to 88. So that's good enough. Let's go over here. Then he want to be a stripper, and then no, I can't say stripper.
Yeah, but see, I think the problem with people nowadays, I feel like I'm an old man saying this, like our generation, I'm only 27, is that, we grew up on Barney and we grew up on all this other stuff that told you were special and that you could soar to the highest moons and heavens. And
you have potential.
Yeah, and you do have potential, but potential doesn't mean anything until you enact it into something.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand is at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's why I think we're talking about staying in your lane. You gotta take that potential and find out where your lane is. There's a lot of people that want it to be. Good example, my cousin about to graduate from medical school. He said in undergraduate and even in medical school, there's a lot of courses that weed people out, right?
Right.
Because there's a lot of people that want to be doctors, but being a doctor isn't as simple as just saying you want to be a doctor or being smart. That don't mean nothing. Intelligence is relative. The reason why you have some girls that work at strip clubs and they make a lot of money and they do well, and quote unquote well, is because if we refer back to Harlem Nights, right? Remember that scene when Della Reese was talking to the white dude and she was saying how she's an honest hoe and all her hoes are honest? That was her lane, you know what I mean? That was her lane, that was her niche. She owned it and owned it to the max, right?
Right.
Because what they tell you growing up, you should be the best you can be.
Right.
In what you're doing. I'm not saying I condone that, but if you're going to do something, be the best at it.
Right.
And so that's what Della Reese said, you know what I mean?
Hoe, be the best hoe you can be.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's just...
Wait,
no, we're not saying to do that.
No, just scratch that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but whatever you do, you should do the best or don't do it at all. So I mean, it's just a waste of your time to do anything and you're not good at it. Like every time we go, I've been to Strokers a few times, and I guess because I look smart, and chicks and I want to talk to them about life and how they going back to school.
Even though they just don't understand what they're talking about themselves.
Yeah, and I be listening.
They just adding big words that don't even mean anything.
Yeah, and I be listening to them, and I just ask them 1 or 2 questions. What?
Bring up the scenario you had with the stripper when she was trying to tell you what she was doing in her life, but then ended up going to the other dude.
Oh yeah. So I was judging a showcase in Goosebumps down there by Georgia State, and I remember I wasn't really in there for anything other than to make money judging showcase. So I was just sitting there chilling, and this chick came up to me, and I guess she thought oh, you look smart, so let me talk to you about smart stuff. So she started talking about
literally.
Yeah, but so many words she said that. So she started talking about life and how she was at school at Georgia State and all this stuff, and she's taking pre-med classes because she wanted to go to medical school. And I'm listening, cool. And then for a moment now, I was like, you know what, this chick's pretty smart. Maybe she's going to be a cardiologist. Maybe she will be that one chick that gets out of the strip club and becomes a doctor. Then when she was like, okay, so you want to buy a lap dance? I'm like, nah, I'm not really here for that. And I enjoy having this conversation with you. I don't really want to sexually objectify you. She just kind of looked at me and moved on to the next dude. And when she moved over to the next dude and, jiggled in his face and shook her titties in his face, that's when it dawned on me. You know what? That was just all a game.
Exactly.
She was just
talking.
Talk.
Yeah, she was just talking.
Where's
the beef?
Back to the episode.
Go back to episode 4.
But the point of that story is, like Jay-Z said, everybody got a story.
Yes.
Everybody got, talking about this and how they want to do this and they wish they could have did this, and their dad had let them go to band camp and they would have been the second chair violinist in Atlanta Symphony Orchestra instead of working in Platinum 21. But at the end of the day, it is what it is.
With a pussy hair.
No comment on that. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Stay in your lane. Be what you're gonna be. What Future say? Ain't no way around it. Remember that song?
Yeah, I remember that song.
Chicken gonna be a chicken, a duck gonna be a duck. Ain't no way around it.
I was in the dark room, dark room, dark room, dark room.